wait a little while for some of our friends to show up. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, I thought I would show you a couple things about the way I do my work. Of course, you know about the piano. One of the things that's really important for me when I'm playing the piano is practicing. And you wouldn't believe it, but still, after all these years practicing, I still have to play scales. Just to keep my fingers in shape. Lots of stuff like that to make sure the hands are working right. Playing scales fast. But the funnest thing for me is what we've got up here, because this keyboard, it's called a synthesizer actually, and it can make all kinds of interesting sounds. I can sound like a symphony orchestra. I can sound like a guitar. I can sound like trumpets. And in the bottom of the keyboard I have a timpani. I can sound like, like a harp. One of my favorite sounds is the sound of the cello. My other favorite instrument is the oboe. So that's my synthesizer keyboard. And I can actually make new sounds by taking some of the sounds that are already there and combining them with other sounds. That's what I was doing last night until about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ken, someone asked if you can sound like a rock band.
Oh, like a rock band. Oh, yeah. Let me see. And if I add the drums, we can make with a synthesizer keyboard. Well, let's get to doing some singing. What do you say? This little song that we start with is a song that has a word for you to sing. And it's the most important word in the piece, and it's the word together. So I'm going to start the song, and I'll show you where the word together comes, because in the rest, as we do it, wherever the word together happens, I want you to join me, all right? Okay. Here we go. Hey, it's great to be here with you, and I'll tell you now what we're going to do. We're going to sit right down and sing together. Gather everybody around. We're gonna make a joyful sound. We're gonna sit right down and sing together. here with you, and I'll tell you now what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit right down and sing together. Everybody coming around, we're gonna make a joyful sound. We're gonna sit right down and sing together. All you gotta do is open up and let it start. Oh yes, it's great to be here with you, and I'll tell you now what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit right down and sing together. Sing it again. Together. Up a half step. Together. Sing again. Together. Up one more time. Together, say it's great to be here with you, and I'll tell you now what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit right down and sing. Get a good deep breath. Together. I am sure glad that you joined our party today. We have lots and lots of guests. We have, is it Kernan with a cat whose name is Noel?
Yep, Kernan with his cat.
And we have Annika with her two dogs, Ryder and May. We have a song about Ryder and May in a minute, because I found out something about May that's very, very special. Speaking of dogs, you notice my little companion here. This over here is Beanie. And Beanie is my grandson Henry's favorite stuffed animal from when he was little. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to have Beanie here. Speaking of dogs, some of you have seen guide dogs that blind people use. They're very special, very specially trained dogs. And they're trained to work. They're trained to help blind people, figure out how to cross the street and how to look for danger and find the doorways to buildings and walk down the hall and find rooms. They're amazing, amazing animals. I never had a guide dog. When I was smaller, I used a white cane a lot, especially when I was walking by myself. I used a cane that I put in front of me so I would not bump into stuff. But guide dogs are a beautiful, beautiful animal, and they're very carefully trained. But May, our friend Annika's dog, May has only 3 legs. And some people would say that's a handicap. It is a disability. But it doesn't get in her way of doing what she wants to do. Watch. Yeah. 2 cute dogs, just as cute as they can be. Ryder's got 4 legs, and May has 3. They walk, still they run, still they have oodles of fun. Ryder's got 4 legs, and May's got 3. Now you might think this would be a bad, bad deal. But let me tell you what's really real. With what they've got, and they learn who they can be. And Ryder's got 4 legs, old May's got 3. 2 dogs hanging up together. Two dogs loving each other. Two dogs in the winter and the summer. Two dogs in all kinds of weather. You see, disability is not inability. You can do a lot of things if you decide what you would like to be. That's my story about a dog who's been set free. Even though Ryder has 4 legs and May has 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Ryder has 4 legs and May's got 3. I have another friend, by the way, who plays the organ, and he lost his left arm in a terrible, terrible car accident. So, as you know, organists use their feet on those foot pedals that they have, and so he plays the organ with one hand and 2 feet. So you can really do amazing things if you decide what you want to do. We're going to be talking and singing today about imagination. Thanks to all my friends who are watching from everywhere. Let's see, who's watching today, Sonia?
Oh gosh, a lot. We've got Marcia from Michigan.
Hi, Marcia.
And we've got Sandy coming in from Fort Worth, Texas.
Hello, Sandy from Fort Worth, Texas.
Eleanor from Palos Heights, Illinois.
Yay, Eleanor.
And we've got, let's see, from Cloverdale, Virginia, Susan.
Okay.
Lots and lots of people.
Lots and lots of people. So we're going to be singing and talking about imagination. You might want to bring a prop with you, something that you could, use, because I'd like to have stories about what your imagination is. Do you have some pretend friends? Do you have a place that you pretend is a special place, like in your backyard, a place that you pretend is a palace, or maybe in your bedroom if you crawl under your bed and you can pretend that that's a cave where you can go and hide from the world. Sometimes you can use just a cardboard box and crawl in it and pretend that like it's a tent, that you're out in the desert and that's your tent. I had a tree when I was a kid. Maybe we'll sing the tree song if we have time later today. There are a couple songs that people were requesting. One person requested the rocking chair song, and I would love to sing it, except I will admit I forgot to study the words to rocking chair, so I'll try to do it next concert. Anyway, imagination. Here we go. I like to pretend things. And so I'm going to pretend that I am a teacher in an old-fashioned school. I'm a professor. And so I have with me my professor glasses, which I'm going to put on my face, and I'm going to pretend now that I am the professor of curiosity. That's a wonderful word, curiosity. So in my imagination, I am in England. I speak with an English accent, and I teach at the school of whatever and wherever, and I am the professor of curiosity. And as such, my song goes like this. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. To get to the other side. Oh yes, here we go. Curiosity. I love to ask the questions why. I love the look in someone's eye. When I think something through, find something new, really, really try, thoughts can fly. There's no better way to know I'm alive than asking the question why. Wise can can be curious. Wise can be serious. Wise can be complex. Some are mysterious. Some are historical. Some categorical. Some metaphorical. Some are rhetorical. Rhetorical, what a big word. There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question why. If I sing that phrase again, would you come in on the word why? There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question. Oh, I can almost hear you one more time. There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question why. Here we go. Why do the birds make nests in the trees? Why does the earth have gravity? Why does the ocean make such a war? Why do the seagulls love the shore? Why do trees make roots in the ground? Why do some people like living in towns? I don't know, I can't imagine. Why does a runner like to run? Why do flowers grow in the sun? Why do people still go hungry? Why do people still make war? Why do people afraid of the darkness? Why do people lock their doors? I love to ask the question why, to see the look in someone's eye. When I think something through, find something new, really try, thoughts begin to fly. There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question why. Now, I'll give you some very serious why questions. This would be your homework. Why did the rock band hire the chicken? Because they needed the drumsticks. Why do the elephants get wrinkles? Because they stay in the bathtub too long. Oh dear. Why do chickens have short legs? So that the eggs won't break when they lay them. Why did the rooster crow at midnight? Because his clock was just too fast. Why did the girl wear a wet dress? Because the label said wash and wear. There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question why. I love to ask the question why, to see the look in someone's eye. When I think something through, find something new, really try, thoughts begin to fly. There's no better way to prove I'm alive. There's no better way to prove I'm alive. There's no better way to prove I'm alive than asking the question. Take a deep breath, ready? Why? Okay, enough of the professor. Sometimes I like to just make up stories in my imagination, and you can do that too. You can make up all kinds of really cool stories. When my granddaughter Charlotte was 3 years old, I was at her house a lot, and she would bring out all her little animals, all her play animals, and we'd put them all lined up on the table. And then I say, Charlotte, what are the animals doing today? And she'd say, well, this one has to go to the veterinarian because he's really sick. And then I would say something and she'd say something, and then I would say, well, maybe this one's going to have dinner. And she'd say, no, Bub. And she called me Bub. That's their name for me, my grandkids. She'd say, no, Bub, it's not time for dinner yet. And so we told these stories together. And so you can make up all kinds of cool stories. I'd like to know, keep the comments coming in. Who are your pretend friends? And what do you and your pretend friends do? Here's another pretend story about a pretend girl. A girl named Alice. And here's the way the story goes. And let me tell you a story about a girl I used to know. A little girl named Alice. Now, one thing you have to know, and that's really all you need to know. Alice is crazy about. She's head over heels in love with stuff. All kinds of stuff. She likes brand new stuff. She likes antique stuff. She likes multicolored stuff. She likes very expensive stuff. In short, you might say she likes any and every kind of, stuff. Good. Now, Alice wants every single bit of her, stuff to be with her all the time. So, Mama has to make her a special dress. Mama got to make her a special dress. Not an ordinary dress like Sonia would wear. No, 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 no. She's got to have a special dress with great big humongous pockets to contain every bit of her stuff. Yup, you're good. Okay, she's got so much stuff in those great big humongous pockets, poor girl can't even walk. I mean, all she can do is waddle. She waddles here, she waddles there, she waddles around everywhere. She waddles at home, waddles at school, waddling around looking like a silly fool because she's got all that, stuff in her great big humongous, you're right, pockets. One fine day, Alice decides to go with her family to the amusement park. She takes a little ride on the merry-go-round, bored, bored, bored. She takes a little ride on the teeter-totter, bored, bored, bored. She swings a little while on the swing, bored, bored, bored. She manages to get to the top of the slide and slide down the slide, bored, bored, bored. But then she sees something called the upside-down turnaround machine. Woohoo! So she got in the little car, she strapped herself in, and went up and 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 over and over and over and over. Before you know it, the whole thing was flying completely upside down. And the world looks different to you when you're flying upside down. Well, what do you suppose became of all that? In her great big humongous. Well, it went tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling down, yeah, tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling down. Sing it! Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling down. One more time. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling down. And before long, you didn't have one single bit of in her great big humongous. And poor Alice began to weep, because the other kids had taken all this stuff that used to be in her big pockets and they ran away with it. And now she didn't have one teeniest, tiniest, itsy bitsiest, witsiest, nitsiest, pickiest bit of stuff put in her pockets. And so she was very, very sad indeed. And she got up off the ground, preparing to waddle home. And started to waddle and discovered that she wasn't waddling anymore. She was walking. I mean, like really walking. And so she decided to see if maybe she could go faster. Can I run? Oh my goodness, look at me. Look at me. I'm walking, I'm running, I'm skipping, I can gallop, I can go so fast. It's amazing what I can do without all that in my great big humongous. She ran home. Mom, you wouldn't believe this. Look at me. I don't have any stuff in my great big humongous but I can walk and run and skip and dance and leap and, oh, it's so wonderful, Mom. I can hardly believe it. Sure, I miss all that stuff. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to walk. It's wonderful to be able to run. It's wonderful to be able to dance, to be able to skip, to be able to take this chance. It's wonderful to be able to move really fast. I miss the stuff, but I feel so free at last. It's wonderful to be able to walk and run. It's wonderful to go skipping in the morning sun. That's wonderful for Alice. But I'm thinking now about some real people who can't walk and who can't run because their legs don't work, and sometimes the legs and the arms don't work. A lot of my friends are in wheelchairs, and so they can neither walk nor run nor skip nor dance. And you know what I've discovered is that those of my friends who are locked into a wheelchair or who can't move can do other things. Like, it's wonderful to be able to think about things that are important. It's wonderful to be able to read. It's wonderful to communicate by various means. It's wonderful to be able to use my mind. It's wonderful to learn about tomorrow and leave some things behind. Every one of us has something you cannot do, but every one of us has something surely you can do. So it's wonderful that I can be me, even though I can't see. It's wonderful for you to be you, but whatever you can do is wonderful to be around. And the world looks different when you're flying upside down. Whoops. Oops. There it is. How are we doing, Miss Sonia?
Great. So a couple different imagination stories coming in here.
Oh,
so
good.
Cindy said when she was younger, she had two younger brothers and they slept in a double bed with a bookcase headboard. When all four of them climbed under the bed, they could slide their heads up into the bookcase portion and draw spaceship controls on the board with chalk and travel the world.
Oh my goodness. Everybody ready? Everybody all prepared? Test engines. Set course for planet Alpha. And here we go. Be careful, don't run into a star. Let's be sure we know where we are. There's an undiscovered planet. There's a meteor only a few kilometers away. There's a star as yet unmapped. We saw some aliens today. And when the voyage is over, we'll go flying back home for a little bit of rest, and tomorrow we'll come once again to unknown adventures. So much along the way, unknown adventures in our spaceship today. We'll see you soon in this very special place as we go flying in the depths of outer space. Is there another?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Okay, Susan says that her children pretend to be all different things. So she listed out here, Micah likes to pretend that he's a cowboy. Joanna likes to pretend that she's a mommy. And Ezra, I think I'm saying that correctly, Ezra pretends that she is a professional basketball player.
Okay, let me see. Way out west, out there in Texas. Way out west, on the old prairie. Way out west, on the plains of Texas. There lives a happy family. Daddy's a cowboy, he's roping cows all day. Got about 1,000 heads all along their way. He's got to make sure those cows all get fed. And he's milking some. Takes care of them cowboys, that's what he's done. Now back at the house, Mom's busy too. She's cooking food and building a deck, 'cause that's what she can do. She's also watching the kids. Some are big and some are small. Cowboy and Mom, they get to do it all. Now their oldest child, he went off to college. He's a great big kid. He's 6 feet 8 inches tall. And when he got to college, the people at the college said, "Hey buddy, you gotta play basketball." So that's my story out on the Texas plains. That's my story and I'll tell it time and again. Out on the plains where the wind blows free, there's a cowboy and a mom and a college-age boy playing basketball and living with so much joy. There's a college boy and a mom and a cowboy 3. very well, but I'm learning. A little bit by little bit. I can do a little bit of Texas, but not very much. Any more stories, Sonia?
Lots of hellos from lots of places. Let me read some of
Okay,
those.
let's read some of the hellos.
We've got, hold on one moment. Enjoying these concerts from Winifred. We've got Lawrence saying good wisdom for all of us here. Hello from New Jersey. And this is an interesting one. This is a fun one. So Dorvel Stewart said, whenever I'm having a late night especially, I like to imagine grabbing my car keys and going for a late night drive. Like Ken, I've been blind from birth, so this only happens in my head. I think it would be a relaxing thing to do, though.
Well, someday, Dorvel, we may be able to drive. If we get these driverless cars perfected, you and I may be driving around the road together. You never know.
That's right, yes.
Lots of hellos from lots of places. All my friends, there's no way we can get to all the comments, but we do read them after the show is over. I want to tell the grown-ups who are about you a couple of things. One, there are some CDs on our website. There's a CD called Kids Play, and there's one called Piano Stories. You can order those for your kids so that they can have some music to imagine by. And as always, if you want to contribute to help these concerts stay alive, it's interluderetreats.org. interluderetreats.org. Well, okay, more imagination. I'm going to ask for my prop. I have a coat over there on a different chair. If I can ask for my...
Right in front of you?
My coat. Okay. This is my pretend coat, and I've dubbed it my superhero coat because whenever I wear this, I can figure out where the...
You're almost there.
I'm gonna find it. If I can, every time I wear this coat, I become Sammy. Now let me tell you the story of Sammy. I have to have my coat on to do that. My name is Sammy, and I have a sister who is Serena. One day, my sister and I and our mom decided that we needed some winter coats. And so we went to the store, and there behind the counter at the big clothing store was a person who looked old and very wise and very kind, flashing beautiful eyes and a smiling face. "Hello," said the person. "I'm so glad you came." Well, so are we, I guess. We're looking for some coats. "Oh, I know you are. I have just the coats for you, Sammy and Serena, right?" How did you know our names?" "Oh, I can't tell you that just yet. You'll know sooner or later. I have just the coats for you. They're in the back. Let me get them." So the lovely, kind, wise person with the flashing eyes and the smiling face went to the back of the store to get 2 coats. "Try them on, please," the person said, and so we did. Tried them on, unbuttoned and buttoned, and it turns out they fit just fine. Beautiful pockets, just the perfect size pockets. Collars that were just right. Everything was perfect. Mine was a long coat. Serena's was a little shorter than mine because she liked shorter coats. How much will we have to pay for these?" Mom said. "Oh, not a thing. They're free." "What? A free coat at a store?" "Well, yes, they're free in a way. You don't have to pay money for them, but, well, you'll find out." Now I was intrigued. I couldn't imagine what this is all about. My mom seemed to know because she had a funny smile on her face. So we went home. My mom said, "Well, you kids better put your coats in the closet." So we did. We had our dinner. And when we went to our rooms, I had a funny thought in my mind. Something's in my mind. I don't know why I'm thinking this. Something's in my mind. gotta put on my coat. I don't quite know why, but I'll do it, cause my mind says put it on. When I came downstairs, Serena was wearing hers too. Mom said, why don't you guys go out in the backyard and play a little? And so we did. And as soon as we got out to the backyard, noticed a very strange thing. All of a sudden, my feet were not on the ground. All of a sudden, I was being lifted up higher and higher. Serena, we're flying, I said. And there she was flying too. Way high, way above the roof of the house, flying. And then we were off, and I don't quite know where we were going, but we were going somewhere. I don't know where we're going. Somewhere it's true. I don't know where we're going, but I'm going there with you, going there with you. And we came to a place outside of town where there was a woods. And we landed in the woods. I noticed our coats were really hot. Like there was some kind of energy in those coats that was propelling us to this place. And then I heard some screaming, help, help, help. And we walked toward the screaming. And there was a huge tree that had fallen. And there was a whole family of people caught under the tree. Oh, Serena, what are we ever going to do? We got to go home and get other people. No, said Serena, I think we're supposed to do something right here. But no, we're only two little kids. We can never lift a tree. I don't know why, but I have it in my mind that we're supposed to do this, said Serena. That's the craziest idea I've ever heard. Come with me, said Serena. And we put our arms kind of under a part of the tree. And Serena said, 1, 2, 3, lift. And all of a sudden, the coats got really hot again. And little bit by little bit, the tree began to lift. I could not believe it. We were holding up an entire tree, and the family of people crawled out from under the tree. Okay, said Serena, let it fall. Crash! It fell down on the ground. Turns out the family of people were hurt a little bit, but no one was seriously injured. And all of a sudden I realized we were flying again. Higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And before you know it, we were standing in our own backyard. And there stood Mom, with a great big smile on her face, as if she knew what was happening all the time. Mom, you got to tell us. No, not yet, children. You'll know in time. I've got a secret. I've got to keep it for a little while. You'll learn all about the coats and all about the energy. Right now I'll just smile. So many things for you to learn. So many corners you'll have to turn. Just remember, you don't know everything right now. But please keep this a secret, at least for now. Maybe you have an article of clothing like my pretend coat, or like an old pair of shoes, or like a scarf, or a blanket that you can put around you, or I know lots of my girl friends like to wear their mom's clothes, get dressed up in their mom's clothes, and some guy friends like to wear their dad's clothes, and some people like to wear clothes that could be for either mom or dad. Some people like to wear clothes that are really, really different because everybody's unique. Everybody is special, and everybody has their own special imagination. Their own special imagination where they can pretend stuff and make up stories. Oh my goodness, there are so many things. I want to now sing a song about washing. I'm going to ask you to take thank you very much, Miss Sonia. Now, for this song, I don't usually like to spend a lot of time washing things. I don't like to, wash my hair a lot. When I'm done with it, I'm glad I did. But it just takes time that I can be doing other things. And when I have to wash my face, it just takes time that I can be doing other things, especially washing my hands. And we have to wash our hands all the time now, don't we? And your hands get dry, so after you wash your hands, you want to put some lotion on them so they don't get really dry. But we got to wash our hands several times a day now, don't we? So I'm trying to think, how can I imagine washing being different? So here is my crazy imagination. I'm going back to the spaceship that my friends imagined toward earlier in the show. And I'm pretending now that there is a very special power generator on that spaceship. Now follow me, it's just kind of dumb, but let's try. There's a very special power generator that only works when hands are moving. Okay? And when the screen shows the hand moving, and the power generator then generates power for all the lights and all the refrigeration and all the stuff on the ship. So, I can imagine that when I'm washing, I'm making that power generator work. I'm washing my hair, washing my face, washing my hands. All that movement is generating power on my spaceship, so the spaceship will go farther, and so the lights will stay on, and so that my ice cream that's in this freezer on the spaceship won't melt, and all kinds of fun things. So, I'm going to imagine, as I sing this song about washing, that I'm washing all these parts of my body, and that I'm making the power work on the spaceship. Now, is that crazy wild or what? Okay, here we go. Called Wash My Hair. Well, I got up this morning, I jumped out of bed, took a look in the mirror, saw the mess on the top of my head. It was dirty and greasy, sprawling everywhere. And that's when I decided that I'm gonna wash my hair. Wash my hair, gonna wash my hair. Wash a wash up, gonna wash my hair. Wash a wash up, no more sprawling everywhere. Wash a wash up, gonna wash my hair. Wash my hair. Now I was playing in the backyard on Wednesday last week. Got some gramps on my nose and a whole lot of mud on my cheek. I don't like mud on my cheek, not a bit, not a trace. And that's when I decided that I really ought to wash my face. Wash my face, gonna wash my face. Wash a wash, gonna wash my face. Wash a wash, not a mud, not a trace. Wash a wash, gonna wash my face. Wash my face. Here's the most important one right now. I was playing in my bedroom yesterday afternoon with some stickers and some glue, some paper and clay and a balloon. My fingers got so sticky with the paper, the clay, the balloon, and the glue. Oh, that's when I decided that my hands needed washing too. Washing too. Oh, wash my hands, wash a wash. Gonna wash my hands, wash a wash. Gonna wash my Gonna wash my face, washer, washer. Gonna wash my face, washer, washer. No more mud, not a trace, washer, washer. Gonna wash my, try the hair right there. Gonna wash my hair, washer, washer. Gonna wash my hair, washer, washer. No more sprawling everywhere, washer, washer. Gonna wash my hair, wash my hair, wash my hair, wash my hair. You know, sometimes imagination has a little trouble. Sometimes we end up imagining things that are kind of scary. I don't know if that ever happened to you, but I know someone who used to imagine sort of creatures under the bed that were not friendly. Ooh, that's a little scary. And I know my grandson Henry, when he was smaller, he did not want to see sort of any movies that were like dark because he didn't want to imagine troubling things. Maybe that's what happens to you. Maybe sometimes you imagine things that are frightening. And when that happens, you need to know that there are people around you who care about you. And sometimes, if you're in a place where there's nobody right there, like maybe you're in a hospital, or maybe you're in quarantine and there's nobody right there, then you need to imagine something different. If bad imaginations come up, then you need to imagine someone there beside you who really cares about you and who really is concerned about you, and just focus on that imagination. You can train your imagination to imagine good things. That's an exercise that is really interesting to do, and I recommend it to everybody. Here's a little song that you might want to keep in your, this is a long word, in your archive or your repertoire of songs. I would encourage people around you to buy the album Kids Play, because it has this song, which is very much what kids are feeling. So it's called Will You Be There, like this. Will you be there when I wake up in the night? Will you be there when I do not feel alright? I hear you say how much you care. When I wake up in the night, will you be there? Sometime deep inside myself, too deep for words to go, there is a fear that I don't know how to say. Sometimes when I wake up in the night, I check to see if you're still there, 'cause I'm afraid you'll run away. I am afraid of the unknown. I am afraid to be alone. Will you be there when I wake up in the night? Will you be there when I face the morning light? I hear you say how much you care. When I wake up in the night, will you be there? Well, this next part can be sung by the grown-up who's around you, or by that imaginary friend, that lion who's there to protect you, that big old German Shepherd dog who's there to protect you, or that great big friendly giant who wraps her arms around you and keeps all the bad stuff away. Somebody like that would sing this. I will be there when you wake up in the night. I will be there when you face in the morning light. You've heard me say how much I care. But when you wake up in the night, I will be there. Way down deep inside of you, too deep for words to say, there is a fear that you don't know how to say. Sometimes when you wake up in the night, you check to see if I'm still there, because you're scared I'll run away. You are afraid of the unknown. You are afraid to be alone. Now this last chorus, I'm going to play my cello and my harp. I will be there. When you wake up in the night, I will be there. When you face the morning light, you hear me say how much I care. But when you wake up in the night, I will be there. About time for us to go. I want to say one more time to the grown-ups in the room, if you want to contribute to this work and help it stay alive, interluderetreats.org. And always use your imagination. Make up stories. Take little things around the house and use them as props for your making up stories. I'd like to hear what kind of stories you make up out of your imagination. And you can email me. This is my email address, Ken, K-E-N, at Ken Medema, KenMedema.com. Because when we do our next children's concert, and I'm not exactly sure when we'll do that, keep an eye out, because I'd love to tell some of your stories, like the wonderful story about the dog May and the wonderful story about the spaceship. That was super cool. So let's end the way we began, okay? The together song. Say it's great to be here with you, and I'll tell you now what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit right down and sing together. You'll truly be on the together, right? Gather everybody round. We're gonna make a joyful sound. We're gonna sit right down and sing. Ha ha, good! You can hear the happy sound of music all around. There is music in the trees and music in the breeze. You've got music in your body.